Your voice is important, especially if you're someone who has been in prison or in jail. You've seen firsthand how the system works. Your vote is needed to change things. Think about it. For centuries, people in power tried all sorts of things to keep people not in power from voting. It's important. Jim Crow laws, for example, were created to prevent black people from voting so that they couldn't change things. Up until 1920, women couldn't vote because the men in power knew they changed things. We need to vote or things are never going to change for us or for our kids or for anyone else. Not sure who to vote for? Talk to friends. Go online to find out more about elections and candidates. Keep up with the news as much as you can. Voting laws are different in different states. It used to be that in Iowa, if you had a certain type of criminal record, you couldn't vote without special approval from the governor. But in 2020, the law in Iowa changed. Now, people with just about any kind of criminal conviction, including felonies, can vote as long as they've discharged their sentences. Who can vote? If you have anything less than a felony, like an aggravated misdemeanor, you're fine. You can vote. If you do have a felony conviction, you can vote if 1. Your conviction wasn't for homicide, including manslaughter and vehicular homicide. 2. You've discharged your sentence, including probation, parole, supervised release, and special sentence. Important note, you do not have to have fees or fines or any restitution paid off to vote, as long as you're off probation or parole. Registration. You can register to vote at any time before the election or on the day of the election right at your polling place. There are lots of different ways to register to vote, including online. You will need to provide some sort of identification. That can include a driver's license, passport, utility bills, cell phone bills, or others. Common questions. How do I know I've completed my sentence? Once you officially discharge your sentence, you should receive papers in the mail informing you of that. If you're still not sure, check with your attorney, probation, or parole officer. What if I still owe money for restitution or other fees or fines? As long as you've discharged your sentence, you can vote. Your right to vote isn't connected to how much you still owe, even if you're behind on payments. You don't even need to be set up on any payment plan. You just have to have discharged your sentence. Can I vote if I'm on probation? If your probation is for a deferred judgment or for a misdemeanor, yes. If you have a felony and your sentence includes probation, no, you can't vote. You have to discharge your sentence. Bottom line, if you have a felony conviction, you can't vote until after you discharge your sentence. What if I'm being kept on probation longer because I can't pay my fines and fees? If that's the case, you haven't discharged your felony sentence and unfortunately, you still can't vote yet. What if I have a deferred judgment for a felony and I'm on probation? Can I vote? Yes. A deferred judgment isn't yet a conviction. If you have a deferred judgment, you can vote, even though you may not be out of the probation period for that deferred judgment. However, if you didn't complete your probation and the felony conviction was entered against you, you will need to wait until you discharge your sentence for that felony in order to vote. Recap. It's important to vote. Having been through the criminal justice system, you have important real-life experience. Nothing will get changed if you don't speak up and vote. If you were convicted of a misdemeanor, you can vote. If you were charged with a felony, but you have a deferred judgment, you can vote. If you were convicted of a felony, you can vote in Iowa as long as 1. It wasn't a homicide conviction, and 2. You've discharged your sentence, that is, you finished parole, probation, or any special sentence. Once you've discharged your sentence, you do not have to pay off any fees, fines, or restitution before voting. Not sure? Have questions? Have an out-of-state felony? Check with your attorney or probation or parole officer, or go to www.youcanvoteiowa.org.